mode.
Hi everyone, this is Ram. Tuesday evening. I'm just hoping that everybody had a great day so far. We essentially have covered some of the topics yesterday. I'm just trying to go back and bring it up. We'll just do a quick overview before we went ahead with our session. So we covered something called as BI Launchpad, and it's a portal. Then it was called as InfoView portal in the past. Okay, you'll be able to access documents as well as some of the tools. Okay, other than that, some of the web-based tools advantages we talked about. Again, BI Launchpad assumes importance mainly from the end user's perspective. At the same time, right, if I as a developer wanted to access the content, possibly when I'm traveling or so, provided there is some kind of internet connectivity and whether it is through firewall or maybe through VPN connectivity, I should be able to access something called as BI Launchpad. Then you have the central management console, which we basically talked about, which is the administration module. Like any particular tool, this being an enterprise tool, it absolutely requires people administering the servers, the infrastructures. Typically, there is a team of 2 to 3 people in every project, or rather I would say in every client location. The team could be large depending upon the number of users that are available and how critical their applications are. So central management console, we just reviewed that information briefly. When we do the administration module again, we will go into the details of it. So we basically secure the infrastructure through this particular module, and I would be able to monitor and maintain the servers sitting at a remote location. Okay. Then you have the key topics. Okay, your best value for your buck, learning the web intelligence as a tool. Okay, long before Rich Client has come into existence, we got introduced to Rich Client only from the year 2009 or probably 2010, when they tried to replace desktop intelligence with Rich Client. But long before Rich Client came into picture, we've been using web intelligence thin client. Okay, that's the browser-based version, and I was accessing in the past web intelligence through InfoView. So long story short, for a long time, for many years, we were using web intelligence thin client. That means if the server was down, we were always stuck somewhere. Okay, and the main dependency for web intelligence thin client is universe. So the data source is always going to be a universe. Universe is nothing but a class of, it's a collection of classes and objects. You can relate to a class as a folder, or it could be a web page, or it could be a name of a form, or whatever it is, where you might be able to see some kind of data. And then the objects are nothing but it's a direct mapping of the fields within a specific table. Okay, what are some of the advantages of thin client? Web intelligence thin client is, I could be accessing, sitting anywhere and accessing from anywhere, from any part of the world. Okay, and it is the primary reporting tool for business objects or SAP Business Intelligence Suite. Okay, you can learn it pretty quick. Okay, other than that, it's just not capable of just reports, but also the visual side of it, the analytics, graphs, charts, etc. Okay, as I told you, right, it can only access data through universe as a data source. also called as thin client because it's a server dependent process. Okay, and we used to run into timeout situation whenever we were using Web Intelligence thin client. But again, remember I was showing you yesterday that there is a within your BI Launchpad, we have a folder where the report would still get saved in the temporary Web Intelligence folder. So just in case I stepped out for a coffee after running a report, I'm rest assured that I will find my report in its current state in my temporary folder. And one more thing is, one more important thing was earlier we used to have only one window that we would be able to open when we created or used a Web Intelligence report. But now with the advancement of we moving to 4.1 onwards, there are multiple tabs that could get open. So that way, right, I could simultaneously work on multiple different Web Intelligence tabs. So let me just navigate you through to this particular concept about multiple tabs in Web Intelligence thin client. 1 second, let me just log in. Okay, if you look at these the home page, okay, this is our BI Launchpad. Then this is my document section. Okay, probably if I were to open a specific report, I know we had some issue yesterday. Let's see if that issue exists even today. Okay. Anyways, so for now, what we will do is this is one tab. Okay, I could probably go ahead and open some other tab. Detail. Okay, so if you see, I could open multiple different documents, MM1 document and then detail 1 document. So at least multiple different sessions could be opened. I'll look into the issue, what's the deal with this illegal access to the viewer. I'll deal with it after the session. So for now, just take my word that you can open multiple different tabs, and each different tab is can work independently, irrespective of the number of tabs I would be able to open. Okay, so let me just go ahead and update this information about Webby Rich Client. Can open multiple different tabs and may simultaneously work on different I would say different documents. Okay, so that's Web Intelligence thin client for you. For our development purposes, okay, and for our understanding purposes, we will go ahead and continue to use Web Intelligence Rich Client because one of our objectives is with the course that we want to be good at Web Intelligence, plus we also want to be proficient and be able to help our clients with delivering the reporting solutions. So let's go ahead and start using the Web Intelligence Rich Client. So what I'll do is I'll just, I have this particular session open from yesterday, but I would still like to go close it and start it afresh. Okay, so let me just close this. So whenever you close this particular Web Intelligence, it would sit out there in the status bar. Okay, I could go here and right click and say quit. That means I'm closing it once for all, closing that particular session once for all. So what I'll do is go to start. Okay, since I've used it yesterday or maybe an hour ago or so, I would be able to see this Web Intelligence Rich Client here. Otherwise, in case I want to navigate where my Rich Client is, I could go back to Programs and go to SAP Business Intelligence, and you have the BI platform for client tools. Okay, client tools, and probably I could go to something called as Web Intelligence Rich Client. So what are some of the features of Web Intelligence Rich Client? It requires software, okay? Unless I install client tools, maybe with other set of tools within the suite, or maybe just the Web Intelligence Rich Client alone, it requires software, okay? I could use Universe or Excel as the data sources at the least. There are other data sources also that are available. Then I would never run into a situation where the report would time out on me, because it's not, though it is a Web Intelligence interface, you're getting the same kind of look and feel on the browser as well as on the desktop version of it. Okay, it doesn't time out. Okay, and more importantly, right, it is, what is the significant difference between Web Intelligence Rich Client and Thin Client? It can access data offline. Probably if I'm having 10 or 15 Excel files and I need to create some reports on the fly, maybe I'm traveling, I'm in a train or in a bus, I still want to have access to the internet, or maybe I'm in a flight, I can still go ahead and create my own reports working offline, okay, working offline, or whether working online. So those are some of the features of the Web Intelligence. Besides that, okay, there is some overhead whenever we change from one version to the other, okay, and then as I told you, right, it's a favorite version of the tool than the Thin Client, okay, for the developers, okay. And other than that, right, Thin Client and Rich Client are pretty much the same, 99.99%. When I create a document using Rich Client, it is compatible with when I open it in the browser. When I download a report or document that is created using Thin Client, it is absolutely compatible with the Rich Client. Okay, and other than that, whenever I'm running some of these reports against these universes on my Rich Client, I need to make sure that there are these ODBC drivers that are connected. What is an ODBC driver? It's basically you're creating a connectivity depending upon the database. If it is a Microsoft SQL Server or Oracle or DB2, or it could be some kind of Access as a database, whatever be the case. More importantly, right, we need some kind of connectivity, and the TSN, data source name, and the connections are absolutely required for running reports on a client desktop tool. Okay. Then what else is there? Let me just add one thing. Web Intelligence reports / documents created in Rich Client is absolutely compatible with the one accessible through BI Launchpad. Same is true when we create documents using Thin Client, the browser version, and download the document to be viewed in the Rich Client. Okay, so try and understand the learning pattern. You're learning as many basics as possible. Eventually, this notes will turn out into your so-called interview questions. So probably you're learning it gradually, so it is going to be easy. You're making it a habit to start adding to the notes. So what you could do is probably go online and find the differences between Webby, Rich Client, and Webby Thin Client. So please treat it as assignment. Okay, I'll just go ahead and highlight it. We can go back, find some of those differences. Again, you're just trying to learn it on your own, you're attending the sessions at the same time, right? You're just trying to figure it out. So this is your basis for your clearing the interviews at this point. So this would be a good start for you folks to think about the assignments. Again, because of the interest of time, I may not be reviewing all your assignments, but again, if you have any specific questions that you are concerned, I would be able to answer in the following sessions that are to come by. So, any questions so far? No questions. All right. Okay. So that is some of those differences and some of the basic information about Web Intelligence Rich Client. So let's go ahead and start a new session. Okay. And if I say a new document, it says new, Control N. So I could just click on it. Do you see a list of data sources? Okay. For a Web Rich Client, you have, it says you can create a blank document. There is something called as universe, which is a data source, Excel. Then if it is a SAP ERP, it is going to be a BEX query. Then analysis view, you create an analysis view from your BI Launchpad. Okay, and you could use one of those analysis views as your source. But since we are not using, we are not building our entire course around SAP ERP, the BEX and analysis view will not be covered. And then there is compatibility with using text file as a data source for us. Other than that, there are these web services that could be used as a data source. So what we could do is you could just have the next part of it as another assignment. Take it as another assignment. What are the different data sources for Web Rich Client and Thin Client? Okay, take this as another, I mean, it's pretty easy, it's all clear. If you just look back at your video, you'll find all these answers. All right, so these are some of the sources. As a technical resource, somebody who's been in this particular, working in this field for over a decade, okay, most of the instances, 99.99%, I'm using something called as a universe. Okay, so universe is my data source. When I say okay here, it's prompting me because it's a secured environment. We were talking about something called as authentication. This is called as enterprise authentication. I am the admin. I am provided ability to create enterprise users. Okay, these are not relevant to your AD users or whatever it is. This is not similar to your network users. So for now, we are looking at authentication as enterprise. In my implementations, we have used LDAP, we have used SAP, Windows AD. Okay, these are all different authentications that is available. For our interest of this course, we are only using enterprise authentication. So let's go and you put in the password, key in the password. Okay, so you are able to generate a blank report. Before generating the blank report, this particular window is prompting us to select something called as a universe. We'll be selecting the C fashion. Another way, because we may, in my current assignment, there are 150 universes. So for me to get to the actual universe, I might as well type the universe name. Okay, and I could possibly pick one of them. I believe this is the one we were using yesterday. So, so you have this query panel. Okay. Out here with the continuation of our nodes, right? We'll just briefly talk about universe before we went further. Okay, what is a universe? It is a semantic layer that hides the complexity of an underlying data model. Data model is a collection of different tables that comprise of different columns, fields, besides the actual data itself. Okay, so this universe, okay, I'll just break it into further steps. Okay, we have something called as okay, so this is a semantic layer. Okay, its universe is also a collection of classes and objects, where a class is a direct representation of a group of objects, or the name of classification of objects. Okay, let me put it this way, or the name of a web page, something like customer information. For example, I'm purchasing some product on Amazon. So there is this web page where I am going to key in my username, password, or my address, my telephone number, or my credit card information. All this relevant information pertaining to customer, I could say this is a customer class or customer information, customer details. It could be anything. So universe is a collection of classes and objects, where a class is a direct representation of a group of objects, or the name of a web page, or the name of a table, or a form on an application. I would rather qualify it as desktop or web application. Okay, what else does this universe comprise of? Okay, universe also comprises of a lot of business rules that the business end users may be aware of, but so basically universe also comprises of business rules. Okay, and since the business users are familiar with all the rules, okay, however, aware of, users may be aware of, and at the same time do not have any idea on how we translate business rules into technical specification. What I exactly mean by is end users, okay, business end users do not have a reason to understand the complexity of the universe design. Okay, all they need to understand is the functionality of the subject area / business, and how one may be able to create ad hoc reports based on the available objects. Okay, long story short, what is the universe? It's a semantic layer. It's just going to hide all the complexity of the underlying tables, columns, etc. Okay, besides it's a collection of classes and objects. Okay, and it is also a layer that keeps the end users away from the complex business rules, and they don't have any reason to understand what kind of complexity it is. So, however, as technical resources, right, our interest is to learn, pick the trade of creating the universe, okay, making sure the end user experience is really seamless and much more easy, even though we may go through a little bit of challenge to provide the best possible universe out there for people to access information. But the end user experience is of our utmost importance. Okay, so these are again some of the basic things about universe. And when you go to learn this universe design, right? So universe design. Okay, then you have UDT, which is universe design tool, as well as information design tool. Okay, so let's go back to our web intelligence again. This was a little deviation, but I thought some introduction to universe is extremely important. So let's go back to this interface. You are seeing, what you are seeing right now is, this is eFashion is a universe. It's a fashion store. So it's a garment store like Gap, whatever it is, or it could be something like Macy's, or it could be anything, right? It's just a eFashion stores, and they have different stores at different locations, and this universe is providing us a set of classes and objects, okay, a set of classes and objects for ourselves. So that way, right, we could generate report on our own. My understanding of SQL is minimal in this scenario. However, a better understanding, proficiency in SQL will help you in creating robust universes. Okay, so what you are seeing is eFashion. This particular symbol is eFashion is a universe. Then you have different classes: time period, store, product, promotions, and measures. Then you have this year object is dimension, and the fiscal period is attribute. Then you have something called as the orange icon, which is sales revenue, which is nothing but a measure. Okay, a measure. Then you have something like the filter, which is called as predefined filters. Okay, these are also called as universe filters. They're called as predefined filters or universe filters. So if you notice this, right, when I double click on this particular year object, it comes to the result objects. However, when it comes to last year, which is a filter object, when I double click it, it comes to the query filter. Do you see this subtle difference? So the tool is programmed in such a way that it's extremely intuitive, and it's, I mean, I was very excited when I started my career, right? I was not the brightest of the bulbs, but this was more like a drag drop kind of tool, and I didn't really have to worry about a lot of coding or writing a lot of SQL. So long story short, I could pull some of these objects here, okay, and possibly something like lines. Then I have a store or something of this sort. I could pull these information, and then query filter for last year. I want to see some of the sales revenue, and say a refresh in the data preview. Boom, you got this particular data out here. Okay, you got this particular data out here. So long before you just run this report and execute the data, you could still verify what is the information you can expect out of this effort. Okay, then what else? So this is the resultant objects. This is the query filter pane. It's P-A-N-E, pane. Okay, this is called as query panel, and this is the data preview pane. Then you just run a simple report, and you can see that you have a lot of information that is available on the report layout. Okay, can I go ahead and delete the month column? Yeah, maybe yes, I could delete it. Let me cancel it. I'll show you something. The particular section you are seeing, this particular frame is called as report manager. This is called as the report layout, the report one, etc. Whenever you change the label here, right? What is the report title? Let's just say sales revenue by year. Okay. The moment I change the tab name, okay, the title also changes. So just be aware of it. Can I go ahead and remove one of the columns here? Absolutely. I can just go ahead and say delete. Is it row or column? I would rather want to remove the entire column. Does that mean that my month column is not here on the layout, but is it getting deleted here? No, it is not getting deleted in the report manager. Whenever I want to bring it back, I can always bring it back here, okay? Or maybe I could just move it from here to here, whatever it is, probably drag and drop. Okay, so we could swap these columns. Other than that, if I want to get rid of the particular column or object from the report, completely from the report, I can go back to the data access, edit data provider. Our data provider here is universe, if you do not remember. So, and subsequently, right, I can just get rid of this month and run the query. Okay, then your month column is gone, month object is gone. Now I wanted to go back and instead of month object, what I wanted to do is I wanted to bring in something called as month name. Okay, and I run the query. Remember I told you the limitation with web intelligence is, though it shows up here as month name, I would still have to drag and drop it somewhere here to ensure that month name also shows up in the report. Okay, sales revenue by year, let me just save it. Okay, this is my document name, sales revenue document. Okay, this is a very simple report, and wherever I have, got an opportunity, I would be able to make changes here. Now, other than that, there are some of the features that you may want to explore. If I want to restrict this particular report tab by a month, I'll select this. Okay, there is analysis. Okay, apply filter. This is the filter that is there. If I want to restrict by some particular month, okay, I could just select maybe August. Okay, did you see this? When I double clicked on it, August and December. Okay, it says month in list, August, December. So I could always filter this by specific months, or probably I could go back to the analysis, go to filter, okay, remove something called as from in list. You could just say equal to. What does it mean? Instead of in list, you are saying equal to. That means I can only select one of the months. Okay, I just said April. Now I double click on December, only December shows up. Okay, only the data pertaining to December is going to show up here. Okay, and what else? Okay, let's. So this is a simple report. So before we move further, right? We are talking about. I believe you all must have received the course curriculum or training agenda. So what we are going to briefly cover is something called as reporting solutions. Okay. The objective is we want our main objective is to provide accurate data in the least amount of time. Can you just give me 1 second, please? Let me get some water. Yeah, thanks for waiting for me. Sorry about that. My throat was drying up. So what are our basic objectives for coming up with an effective reporting solution? It is to provide accurate data and in the least amount of time. Besides that, okay. In a required format, okay. Can be pictorial, okay, be it graphs, charts, dashboards, okay. Again, there is a fine line. Dashboard is a concept, okay. In the context of reporting solutions, you are providing a visual interface where it's like in the form of a chart or in the form of a map, etc. It's all called as dashboards. Dashboards. It so happens that SAP BI also has a different module called as a dashboard. But primarily, if I say dashboard, it's a high-level information that is available for any kind of manager or a top-level executives to understand the business, the performance, or the information in very, very less amount of time. So that's why I'm just saying it as a dashboard. So what is reporting solution? I'm just looking at accuracy of data, okay, that can be fetched in the least amount of time, okay, in a specific required format, okay. At the same time, right, it could be pictorial, it could be more visual, visual-like, okay. So those are the reporting solutions. Why? So why did I bring this up? Why did I bring this up all of a sudden? So what is the main objective of this course? Okay, to provide insight into the data. So provide insight into the business. So one of the ways for my client to get insight into the data, see the business performance, right, is to view reports. And also it could be that there is something like a dashboard. So what do I do with information that is provided in a required format? Okay, what do I do? I would be able to review that information and analyze it. So why do I have to analyze it? So that way, right, I could look at old data, the historic data, and possibly it's giving me a hint, it's providing me insight into my data, giving me an idea about what my business was in the past and what were the factors that influenced the data. I mean, influence the decision making. So it provides us a platform to analyze past data, and then subsequently you are able to deliver effective reporting solutions. So long story short, okay, I want to see data in a specific format. That's as simple as we call it as reports. Okay, and if it is summarized, it is called as a dashboard. That means it is providing you high-level information. So all I am worried about, if I am the owner of the company or CEO of the company, if there are about 10 divisions, I want to understand how these 10 divisions are performing. Maybe these 10 divisions are different divisions of a garment company, okay? Or maybe it could be manufacturing, sales, etc. Or it could be each different profit centers, whatever it is. So all I need is how my company is performing against different specific areas. It could be geographical, it could be business-wise, it could be division-wise, or department-wise. Irrespective of it, right, whatever kind of insight I can get, provide on my data is the objective of this particular course. And in that process, right, we use tools like Web Intelligence, SAP dashboards, and along the way we create the semantic layer or the powerful structure called as universe. So this is the course objective. Now coming to what kind of reports do we see? Okay, what kind of reports do we come across on a regular basis? What are those? Okay, they call it as list reports. Okay, then you have something called as crosstab. You have masked detail. And you also call it as trend reports. Okay. This is where the analytics piece comes into picture. What does it mean? I'm trying to compare data between last year and this year. Maybe Jan 2014 sales or sales revenue versus Jan 2015 sales revenue. So providing your platform where you could compare the data, okay, but at the same time interact with the data is what I would, in my own definition, would call it as analytics. Okay, so in a nutshell, okay, while we are working on web intelligence, we would be generating this set of reports. Okay, so let's move on to this. We'll quickly do simple reports. What you are seeing currently, okay, it's a list report. Let me just change it. Sales revenue. For our understanding, we'll just say it as list report. Okay, and I'll save it as list report. It's a very, very plain report, okay, where you have columns and rows. Okay, now you have something called as okay. So this is a list report. What we could do is further, we'll just start a new report quickly. Okay, we'll just take the universe. Okay, the same e-fashion. This is year. Then you have store. Then you have measure. Okay, you want to build a simple report. This is what I would call as a list report. Okay, let me just do it. This is a list report, right click and turn it into a cross tab. Okay. So until now, right, what you are looking at is this is a list report. If you want to duplicate this particular tab, hold the control key, drag and drop. Okay, hold the control key. Okay, now you have the same blocks of data. If you notice that year is a column here, there is store name. Let's try and expand each of them. Okay, this is a simple list report, and we also have another list report here, which we just duplicated it. We did a control, and then we dragged it. And list report, I wanted to change it into a cross tab. What does it mean? Turn it into cross tab. Okay, that means I'm able to easily compare the e-fashion store Austin, or be it any of those stores, store information between 2001, 2002 and 2003. So do you see this? This is a list report. This is a cross tab. What does cross tab provide us? It provides us an opportunity to see it as a trend report. So when I see this trend, right, my sales revenue here is 56K. Now it's $500,000, 561,000. Then you have 1 million and then 1.1 million. So a cross tab is also kind of a trend report. So what I will just save this as is list report and cross tab. Okay, then take the same report. Okay, we'll just duplicate it, duplicate this tab. Okay, I'll just say this is master detail. This is list report / cross tab. Okay, this is the list report, this is the cross tab, and then this is the master detail report. So what we will do is we'll just remove the cross tab quickly. Okay, we want to show the master detail. What does it mean? I'm just going to right click on this year and say set as section. That means you are able to see by the year, you are able to see information displayed as store name and sales revenue by year. So if you go back to this particular view, okay, probably okay. So this is the PDF view, right? Do you folks understand the PDF? So if you just go and click on 2003, it will take you to this 2003. If you click on 2001, it will take you to 2001. If you click on 2002, it will take you to 2002 here. Okay, so this is typically a master detail report. Now, can I possibly interchange it? Maybe. Okay, so this is called as a master detail. So it is also called as a section header. That makes sense? That means this is the driving force for this particular report. If you go to this section, if I want to see Washington toll booth e-fashion, it's straight away taking me to that. Okay, that's the beauty of the master detail report. And what else is there? List report, cross tab, master detail reports. Okay, and the classification of this particular report is nothing but, for example, you are seeing cross tab here. This is the one. Okay, this is the cross tab. It's nothing but a trend report. So to summarize information for us, okay, it's very simple. Right now, our objective of this Web Intelligence module is to create a list report, a cross tab report. The cross tab report could be a trend report, and then you have a master detail report. So end of the day, right, you would be creating any of these kinds of reports. At this point, this is all simple stuff that we are looking at. And then in the advanced topics, right, we may be in a position to add a little more functionality to it. So that way, right, as and when we deal with complex scenarios, as and when we deal with some of the complex scenarios, the advanced features of this tool comes into picture. So almost pretty much we will be covering all those particular topics. So now is the time for us for any question answer session. Okay. Let me just, do any of you have any questions? If you have any questions, please please raise your hand, okay, so that I'll try and address it. Yeah, you may want to raise your hand. I'll try and address it. Any questions? So what we will do is we will conclude today's session for now, and we will start with a quick review of what we learned today, and subsequently go on to learn how best we can focus on creating these trend reports using different possible concepts that is available for us within the tool. And I would say you can start considering them as the advanced concepts, and these are the concepts you will be using in multiple different projects in multiple different situations, except that you will be using one solution versus the other solution, whichever you think is appropriate. You will just start using them. There is no absolute perfect solution, I would say. My logic of building a report could be different from your logic of building the report, but more importantly, right, whatever the end user wants to see in a specific format, in a specific layout, our objective is to create that kind of a layout for our end users or for the client. So again, before we wrap up, I just wanted to find out if anybody has a question. Type it in, or at least send a note to the organizer, so that I would be able to answer any of these things in the next session. Okay, so let's connect again tomorrow. I know it may have been a little short duration class, but we will try and do some revision tomorrow, and I'll just take you back to this slide. Okay, I have two assignments for you. Okay, what are the differences between the Webby rich client and Webby thin client? Okay, the other thing is it's a subset question. What are the different data sources for Webby rich clients and thin client? If you're able to find out information on your own, that is great. Otherwise, you may want to review this particular video recording so that you will find your own answers. Okay, so for now, let's hang up and catch up tomorrow. All right, thank you.